Hello, and welcome to Marvel Vision, a Marvel Studios TV show podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. My name is Devin Fracci. I am one of the hosts of the program. Joining me, as he traditionally does...
My name is Ed Gein. How are you? I'm Ed Gein.
Did you watch the Ed Gein Show?
I did. I watched the Ed Gein Show.
It's an incredible voice he's doing. He's like Forrest Gumping it, kind of. I do think one of the really interesting things about that show, I wrote a whole piece about why I think it's kind of brilliant. One of the things that's really interesting is that the show has different segments, not just episodes, but like segments where Ed himself is different. So he's like a lot more menacing in the middle three, kind of, than he is in the opening couple. And then in the end, he's like
they're just
super...
completely making shit up.
Oh, yeah. No, they're just making stuff up. Well, some of that stuff is sort of made up. I mean, like, the murders...
He did not chainsaw two men to death.
Well, the thing is that he is suspected in the disappearance of these two men. Yeah. So, he probably didn't do it. And there's no way to know that he chainsawed them. But, like, whatever. It's awesome. So, I mean, like, it's an awesome scene. Like, he really chainsawed these guys to death. What'd you think of it?
It was okay. Most of it was not good. Some of it was very good. The last two episodes were a mix of amazing and terrible, which is shocking. Like when they did like the school play version of Mindhunter was really wild. It was like, why? Like, why would you do this?
Yeah. They really...
That he dies twice in it is very strange.
Yeah, he dies twice yet. And spoilers, he goes to heaven. Yes. That's the best part of the whole miniseries, is that this man, who without a doubt definitely killed two women, and may have killed more. Probably, I also believe he killed his brother. I do believe that he did kill his brother.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, there's no evidence of it. It just... the way that it happens in the show, like where he leads the police directly to the corpse and then they do an autopsy and he's like, I don't know, guess it could have been smoke inhalation. But what about these bruises on his head? They're like, yeah, he could have fell and hit his head. That's exactly how it happened.
The coroner says that. Like, he's got these weird bruises, but whatever, who gives a shit?
That's really what happened. That's actually what happened. It makes his death like a magical moment. It's an All That Jazz fucking homage where there's like a whole dance number to a Yes song. Yeah. And then his mom
Charles
comes
Manson
down.
shows up.
Charles Manson shows. It's fucking amazing.
Richard Speck.
It's so good, man. Richard Speck shows up in his death dream to offer his titties to Ed Gein.
Yes. Yes.
Fucking great. I really enjoyed it.
The last two episodes, when they got real weird with it, I was like, oh, the whole show should have been like this. Like,
I mean, the whole show kind of is. There's a lot. Like, he has a scene where he is imagining himself in Psycho a decade before the movie came out, and the movie's based on him. So, like, that's insane, but it's awesome. But it's like such an awesome thing to do.
It's interesting because there's crazy stuff that Ed Gein said that they don't bother with. Like, he said that, like, he would go outside and the ravens would laugh at him and tell him different things to do. And I was like, "That you got to do that in a show like this," and that never comes up.
Yeah,
it's why would you not have that?
I think one of the reasons why is because they didn't want to depict him as totally psychotic early on. I think that because the show was like weirdly warm towards Ed Gein.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Like, and I was watching with a friend, and she was like, the funny thing about these shows is that they always make me feel bad for these guys. And I was like, well, I'm sure that's not going to be this whole show. And then the show ends with him in heaven with his mom. And I'm like, oh.
His mom being like, you've made sure people will know the Gein name forever. You've made us famous and wonderful.
But that's the thing, is that that's like that's ludicrous, but they know how ludicrous it is. And they know what's happening there. Like, they understand that they're speaking about like the serial killer desire to be famous and stuff like that. He's the guy that like founds this in the American psyche.
And playing on the media's pull towards those things, that the media turns these people into stars.
Yeah.
And they play with that. Like, it's a show that definitely has something to say with the way that we have become desensitized to violence. And I found that very interesting, where it goes back into the stuff with the Holocaust, and then it goes into the movies and like all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting. It's definitely got something to say. A lot of it, I think, is very bad. The episode when his friend moves to New York is
all of that is
terrible.
total bunk. Nothing that in that episode is real. Like, it's
and
crazy.
it doesn't serve a purpose.
I actually think that it does. So my theory on why that serves a purpose is because she represents true crime fans.
Yes, but when she shows up and shows her photos to the guy that she's obsessed with, who's a crime scene photographer,
Ouija, real guy,
yeah.
super famous crime scene photographer.
Yeah, and she shows him her photos, and he's like, "These are garbage. Get out of here." For a show that is not subtle with its discussions, that he's not like, "No, you are romanticizing this. I'm not. Like, I'm capturing the moment. You are trying to make this into something titillating."
Yeah,
that would have been more interesting.
I mean, that would have been an interesting, but I think they kind of didn't want him to give her constructive criticism because he gives her no constructive criticism.
No, he's like, "I'll have sex with you, but these pictures are terrible."
Yeah. No, all that stuff is made up. But I think it was good to get Ouija in there. I thought it was nice to get Ouija, and then also any TV show that has Ed Gein on a ham radio talking to Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS.
Yeah.
And it's like definitely a show that is like up my alley. That's like 100% up my alley. So anyway, I'm glad that you watched it. I watched Mr. Scorsese this weekend.
I did not watch that. I have not watched that. I watched this because it was my post-COVID booster I don't feel well show.
Perfect show for that, yeah.
Well, that's how I found, what was the Godfather series? The Offer.
The Offer, yeah.
That's how I ended up watching that the first time, and I was like,
This
I'll
had
do
me.
the same thing.
This had me thinking about The Offer a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, very much the same thing. Where like you're like, none of this is true. None of this is even close to what happened. But it's interesting, and and it is interesting that Charlie Hunnam is whispering the entire show, and everyone else is doing a high school play. They're screaming as loud as they can, and which, my sound system did not enjoy because I couldn't hear him, so I'd raise it up, and then the next scene is people talking as loud as they can. That was very annoying, but
it's funny. Charlie Hunnam's performance is like, I think it might be really good.
I think he's really good in it, and I am not a fan of Charlie Hunnam.
No, I don't think he's a good actor, generally speaking. Yeah, I think he destroys Crimson Peak. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've said this before. His American accent, the first time I heard it was on Undeclared, where he does an American accent that's supposed to be bad. And I was like, this is really funny. His American accent's really bad because he's an Australian guy or a British guy, whatever he is, pretending to be an American as he's going through like this acting school and trying to hone his American accent. And it's a real bad, like, Texas sounding accent. And then he's on Sons of Anarchy doing the same exact accent. I was like, oh no, he just does a bad accent, apparently.
His accent in this is amazing because he's doing both Wisconsin and it turns into Irish sometimes out of nowhere. All of a sudden he's like, oh, you want to go over here, don't you, Shore and Big Little Boy? Yeah. Like, it's fucking insane where his accent goes.
He sounds like Kermit's nephew. What's that guy's name? Robin. He sounds like Robin. Is what he sounds like. But there's some really good, interesting. Like, I really like the stuff with oh gosh, I can't think of the actor's name now. Norman Bates, Anthony
Perkins.
Anthony Perkins. I thought they did some interesting stuff with him. And aside from the fact that they suggest that the shower scene is the last scene in Psycho because people just leave the theater after that scene every time they show it, seemed very weird to me. But whatever. They do some good stuff with that I thought was very interesting, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff I thought was very interesting, like connecting all those dots.
Yeah.
And then again, the spoilers for the show, I feel like they drop the ball at the end where the final scene is a bunch of kids at Ed Gein's grave on like Halloween, and they pull out the gravestone, which did go missing for a number of years, and they one kid looks and he sees like somebody off in the distance. He's like, hey, somebody's watching us, and it's Anthony Perkins. And then,
well, it's Norman Bates.
It's Norman Bates, yeah. And then Buffalo Bill shows up, and like Leatherface shows up, and this kid is freaking out, and him and his friends run away. None of them see it; only he sees it. I was like, I thought for sure he was going to see each of them, and then turn around, take out a gun, turn around, and shoot his friends. And it was going to be now we're moving into the mass shooting.
I mean, I guess that's one way to go, but I think
it's 1987 or so it's too early for that kind of thing.
Early. I guess, but I mean, also I think that the argument that would be made might be that mass shooters and serial killers are different types in a pretty significant way. But I think also what the show is trying to do with that last bit, which ends with Ed Gein doing the chainsaw dance from the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think what the show's trying to do is say these things haunt us. Like, these are the nightmares in our heads, and they all come from this one guy. This one guy created all of this fear. Like, the impact this guy had, was unbelievable. And that's what his mom says. You've changed the world,
Oh, and he undoubtly did. I mean, you can't argue it. But, I did like, in the last 2 episodes, all the nurses at the home that he was put in being like, "You're a great guy, Eddie. We all love you here." And he's like, I wish I could skin you. And like, "Oh, Eddie, you're so funny."
Yeah, it's so funny because the show kind of like makes a feint at like, oh no, he's actually just a psychopathic killer because he has that big fantasy about killing the nurse in the shower, which I think is a reference to the movie Pieces, by the way. I think Pieces is Ed Gein coded because in Pieces a guy is building a woman out of different body parts, and it does have a kill in a shower, or that's actually it's a locker room. But the difference there is that in Pieces, it's the meanest kill of all time. Have you seen Pieces?
A very long time ago.
I mean, the Bluto's in it from the Popeye movie, but the killer comes in.
Which is why I saw it.
The killer comes. Also, there's a kung fu instructor who has diarrhea in that movie.
Maybe I haven't seen it because I don't remember that. I feel like
that comes out of nowhere. He's in one scene. He jumps out of the shadows, and he's like, "Oh, it's my kung fu professor," and he goes, "Oh, bad Chinese food," or something like that. He says like something like racist like that. But anyway, the killer in Pieces has this woman in this locker room, and he backs her into a corner with a chainsaw, and it's the meanest kill I've ever seen because the movie makes a point out of focusing on the fact that she pisses her pants in fear.
Okay.
And I was like, why didn't this show do that with the nurse? And I said to a friend, I said, maybe that was just too mean for Ed Gein Show. And she was like, have you watched the rest of Ed Gein Show? It's a mean show. It is not a pleasant program.
No. No.
It's a real exploitation movie, though. Like, that's the thing. It's for real exploitation. You don't get this that much anymore.
No, which made me wonder if the other seasons are like that as well, because I've never seen the other seasons of this.
I'm kind of curious now myself. I'm kind of curious. Neither of the other seasons has... Next season is Lizzie Borden. So I will definitely watch that because I do like with Lizzie Borden. And I don't know how you do a whole season of television out of that because she just killed her parents.
I don't know. I
guess
I don't know how they did 8 episodes out of this because they're really stretching a lot of stuff. And again, there's a lot of stuff that they just don't do. That's like, well, this would have been interesting. Like, why did you not go down this path? I really wish I could interview the creator of the show, Ian Brennan, because I really do want to know. I want to talk to him like deeply about like what he chose to include, what he chose not to include, and what he chose to make up. Because there's enough stuff in this show, there's enough detail in this show that indicates to me that this guy knows the case. There's not a question. For sure.
He knows the case. In fact, there's a really good book called Deviant about Ed Gein. I guess Ed Wood's a deviant too. About Ed Gein, and the author of that book is considering suing the show because he says they use my book unauthorized for this. And having read the book, I gotta say he's got a strong fucking case. Yeah. Like, there's like lines from the book in the show, and like the argument could be made. There's like he keeps calling this area of Wisconsin the dead heart of Wisconsin, and that comes up in the show. And he's quoting a editorial from the time period, but like that's like so unlikely that you would be doing your own independent research and also come up with that phrase. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so obviously taken from the book. The structure is taken from the book because Ed Gein gets captured very halfway through the book.
Okay.
Like, this is not one of those ones where he gets captured in the last chapter. He is captured very early. And so it just seems to me like he's got a case if he wants to pursue it. But,
yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth watching, especially the last 2 episodes where it gets real weird. Are definitely worth watching. But, like, a lot of the stuff just feels like spinning wheels a lot of the time. Like, all the stuff with his friend, what was her name? Adeline just feels like a lot of, like, well, we need to fill time. So
they wanted to give him a romance, I think. And they wanted to have something sexual. The thing is that Ed Gein never actually fucked a corpse. And he says, but I believe him because what he says when they asked him about that, he said that they smelled too bad. And
but he also killed 2 people and brought them back. I believe he might have then.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He could have. I'm not I'm not sure. I think that Ed Gein's stuff is his psychosexual stuff is so complicated
Yeah.
that I'm not convinced that I think he might have died a virgin. I think that seems plausible to me.
Sure. Sure.
Because his stuff was so complicated. His mom fucked him up so bad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, also he was certainly without a doubt had some mental problems that were just chemical, but his mom and his dad too. The show lets his dad off the hook in a big way.
Yeah.
The dad was physically abusive to the family, which I feel like you don't have to even say. It was the 1930s. Like, of course, his dad was physically abusive.
They touch on it briefly, where the dad hits his mom and then she knocks
him out. Yeah,
yeah.
Which is not how that worked.
No, it's not how that went down.
But it's awesome though. Aunt Jackie knocking out her drunk husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw somebody complaining I didn't never need to see Aunt Jackie's bush on TV. Well, and I would have to say, so there is a nude scene with Ed Gein's mom. And I do have to say, though, like, you never see her head at the same time as her body. And that's the giveaway they're using a body double. But also, if you look at the body, I believe this person is 30 years old that's laying on the bed that he's washing. Like, this is not an old person. So...
One thing that really bothered me...
What's that?
Is the Bitch of Buchenwald comic book.
It was out the day the war ended?
Not that it was out the day the war ended. That art they were not doing comic books with that kind of art at that time. That was like photorealistic art, and that was not happening. That was not happening. And that
you're right.
That happens a lot in like stories that take place in like the 40s and 50s, and they make up their own comic book and they use modern art.
Right.
Modern comic book art, and it's like, it would never look like this. Like,
yeah, but I think they wanted it to not make it super alienating to the audience. Also, it's kind of funny because that comic book that they create does not even look like they're even trying to make it look like a comic book.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like weird. Like, it's a very strange thing what they're doing with that I feel like, again, it might be purposeful. They're abstracting the concept of a comic book for what Ed is looking at, as opposed to actually trying to recreate a comic book, what a comic book would look like.
Yeah.
So, I have been reading the DC Finest trade collection of the Teen Titans Judas Contract.
No, good story.
Good story. One of the greats.
Problematic story these days.
Yes. The
should have been those days too. Problematic, but
the whatchamacallit, the collection begins very early. Like, the Judas Contract is like the last 4 issues in the whole book, and the book is like 600 pages long or something like that. It's like a giant. These DC Finest are very big usually. And I'm reading it, and I'm kind of like doling it out nicely, like a couple issues a night. I'm not really just plowing through it. And I realized that Marv Wolfman is writing these characters. It's really good. So I'm going to say this. It's really, really good. And there's a lot of stuff in this that I wish they were still doing in comic books. However, he writes every one of these characters as unbearably mean to each other.
Yes.
Like, and he's clearly trying to riff on that Marvel banter and that Fantastic Four banter, but I think you can have... there has to be love between the characters. Like, consistently, Cyborg is wishing for Beast Boy to die. Yep. And consistently he is saying, I shouldn't have saved your life. Like, and like, there's never a moment between these two where you feel like there's like an actual love between them. Like, there's times where I'm like, when is Beast Boy gonna snap? Like, when is he gonna finally go, fuck you, man? Like, I'm just doing what I can. Like, it is wild how much these characters, and they all do it to each other. They call Terra Mudhead. I was like, that's not nice. That's like, that's not even good banter. That's just like nasty.
Just rude. Yeah, I mean, the one that always stuck out to me is his Wally West. His Wally West hates everyone on that team.
Yes.
Wolfman, I believe, has talked about this, that he made Wally a conservative because he did not like Wally West. He was like, I don't like this character. He's going to be the conservative on the team, and everyone else is going to be like, you're a piece of shit. And he's like, fuck them, they don't understand, blah, blah, blah. And, like, it's one of those things when you read it, and then you read stuff today where Wally and Dick Grayson are like, we're best friends. And like, are you though? Because you guys despised each other in New Teen Titans.
Yeah, but you know what? That actually feels real to me. Like, when you're like older teens and you have like a friend that you kind of hate, but you're always hanging around. And then, like, as you get older, like, all that shit falls away, and all of a sudden you were the two that kept in touch, and all of a sudden you're best pals. Like, I actually, that feels real to me. It is funny, though, because in these issues, both Wally and Dick cannot stop talking about quitting. I'm like 8 issues in, and every issue is like, this is why I have to quit the Titans. And again and again and again and again. And I got to give it to Marv Wolfman for milking that shit for a solid year.
I got to give it to Marv Wolfman for at one point just being like, Wally's powers are killing him. He can't use them anymore. Goodbye. And it was like, what? Where did that come from? Huh? No explanation. Just, yeah, I guess. Sure.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Oh, it's so good, man. But I'm really enjoying it. And there's like an issue where they're dealing with a hostage situation. And, like, it's just a really good comic. It's just, except for the fact that the characters are consistently being cruel to each other, which I really kind of like, ugh. Other than that, though, it's really, really good. And he's really good at weaving these stories. And also the Monitor is showing up. And this is like a long time before.
Yeah, he started up Crisis way early in Titans. Yeah.
I haven't read this story in a long time. And I don't remember much about it. But in this comic, the Monitor is recruiting villains to kill people.
I do not remember. It's been.
I mean, that's what he's doing.
Is the last time I read it.
He's doing that. Like, that's the thing. So, like, and he's in his little ship above the earth. Like, it's definitely the Monitor. He's talking to, what's her name? Lydia.
I think it's Lyda.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we never see his face, but it's definitely the Monitor. Yeah. They call him the Monitor. So I was like, wow. First of all, he's setting this up very far in advance, and second of all, like, why is this? I have to read this whole story just to find out why the Monitor is hiring hitmen all the time. He keeps doing it.
I don't think that ever gets explained. I think Crisis took so long to put together that by the time they did the story in DC fashion, all of the lead up had nothing to do with what the story was. And I believe the original idea was like, well, the Monitor's going to be the villain. And then they're like, nah, we'll make this other guy the Anti-Monitor, and he's the villain. And it was like, okay, like, here we go. So, yeah, like, that's what DC likes to do. They like to spend a year setting up a storyline and then going, everything you just read, don't worry about that.
That's amazing.
We're doing something totally different now.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
But the George Perez art is really wonderful. It's really interesting to be looking at, I mean, early George Perez art. Like, watch over the course of this book, I'm watching him, like, turn into George Perez, like, in a very significant way. Yeah. I also forgot that Vigilante's origin is in Teen Titans.
Yeah, one of the annuals, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually before that, because he's, like, busting shit up. Like, the events in the annual come out of a mob boss blowing up Adrian Chase's family.
Okay.
In the main comic, because he's using Robin to do vigilante style attacks because he's a DA and he doesn't have the proper authority to do some of these things, so he teams up with Robin to do it. And Robin at this point Dick is very dark and grim, and everybody keeps saying, Dick, what the fuck's wrong with you? This is not you. You suck right now. I kind of like that. I like when a character has that turn, but other characters acknowledge it and go, ugh, this fucking guy. Like, I actually don't mind that. So
yeah. That is a great series. They did great work. I have not read it since high school. It was the last time I read the Wolfman Perez Titans, and every now and then I'll be like, I should read it again, and I'll read like the first 5 issues and then just kind of drop off because the book just takes off. Like, the book just starts.
Oh yeah. It's really just going. This is one of the reasons why I bought this DC's Finest edition, is because I know when I have the book, I tend to actually read it. I don't forget about it because it's right there. As opposed to when I'm reading something on digital, it's very easy for me not to open the app and not realize that I have a comic I'm reading. I just totally space on it.
No, I agree. Because if it's sitting there, you're like, I paid money for this damn thing. I got to read it.
Yeah, and also like it's just like it's very convenient because it just reminds me. Like, I don't mind. I'm not like have to be forced to read it. I just forget that I have it. Like, I forget that it exists. And so seeing it, I also started reading the JLI Omnibus Volume 1.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Really, just right from the start, really good stuff.
I will say that book really put a big dent into my concept of you used to be able to just jump into a comic series. Because that first issue, they don't bother explaining anything to you.
Yeah.
They just like, okay, the Justice League is here. kind of, and they're doing stuff, and then like all the invasion stuff, they're just plowing through it and not recapping stuff. Like Giffen and DeMatteis had no time to recap. They were just like, we're just doing things. Like, it's pretty wild. It's a pretty weird. That first issue is such a weird opening to a new series.
It's really weird. Also, partially because it opens with Guy Gardner, and then everybody hates Guy Gardner for the whole comic. And it's such an interesting angle because it really works. But like that's like you're playing with fire there. Like if you're introducing this character and you're having him be central, and everybody thinks he's a dickhead. Like that's like there's he does not do anything remotely positive. It isn't like one of those things where he's a dickhead and then he like actually he's a sweetheart. He's just a dickhead.
It's also, looking back on it, it's so impressive on how it's like issue 5 is the one punch, and he ends up hitting his head again, and he wakes up and he's good guy.
Right.
And in my mind, that lasted for like 3-4 issues. It lasts for like 20 issues, like 10, 20 issues, like of him being good guy, and before he gets hit again by Lobo and returns to himself. And it's like, wow, they really stretched that out for a long time.
I think they probably also recognize that Guy Gardner being an asshole can only go on for so long. Like something has to happen, and they didn't want to have him learn because I feel like it's against the ethos of the whole book. So like having him just have his personality changed, and then that way you can just change it back whenever you want. That makes a lot of sense because because even just like 3 or 4 issues into this run, I'm like, boy, Guy is a pain in the ass. I'm not really sure why he's on this team. Like I'm not really sure why they're keeping him around. Yeah, he's useless. He's worse than useless. He gets them into bigger trouble than otherwise. Like
he almost starts World War III. Yeah, for the second time they say he's like, he did this like last week in the Lanterns book. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And the same with like Beetle and Booster's relationship, their friendship just starts. Like it's just like they're friends. Just go with it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And if you've been reading either of their books, they're nothing like the characters in those books. Just go with it.
Yep. No.
Which is also impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Great
right.
series. A fantastic series.
We got any news this week?
We have one piece of news. Joe Pantoliano is in Wonder Man as an undisclosed role.
Good for him. I want to say that I have seen a number of headlines about this, and I really get mad at them.
Okay.
Because the headlines almost always say Joe Pantoliano joins Wonder Man. It's like, bro, they fucking finished shooting this. He didn't join it. He been joined to it. Yeah. And I hate that. I just hate that so much. That
this could be a Tig Notaro Army of the Dead thing where they're just green screening him into shots. So they could be filming it right now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. That's all you got?
There's nothing really going on right now. It's very quiet.
So I saw a couple of things, one of which you would never ever possibly consider adding to the news, but I think is interesting. Nia DaCosta visited the set of Doomsday.
Yes, I saw that. I'll tell you why I didn't add it. Is because all she says is like, well, I'm still friends with those people. So she.
But that's what's interesting. So because the thing is that the narrative coming out of the Marvels was that she got super fucked, and that Kevin Feige particularly fucked her, and that it was a horrible experience that she hates. And I think that she did not have a good experience, but. She says also that she's such good friends with Kevin Feige that he wrote her a letter for her visa to come work in the UK. Yeah. So, like, I like these things that undercut some of the sort of gossip a little bit. Because it makes me sad what happened to her on the Marvels. I do think it's a bummer because I do like the Marvels as it is, but also I recognize it is not really a movie. It is not. It's cut to shit. Like, it's... I would love a world where she gets to come in and do another cut on it or something like that. Like, that would make me so happy. It's not going to happen. At least Marvel doesn't do that. Cut. But, like, I like to undermine some of these things because I think people like to create these narratives about, the Marvel machine is crushing people. And I think that even when the experience is bad, and the experience can be bad, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're making these kinds of movies. There's a real chance that the experience is going to be bad. But even in those cases, like, I think those relationships are real. And so that she goes to visit Doomsday. I bet that she showed up to talk to Brie Larson or Iman Vellani. Did I go again?
Hello?
Can you not hear me?
I can now.
All right, pick it up. The fact that she goes to the set and probably visits Brie Larson. I'm gone again?
You were for a moment.
Let me just, like, if I go out,
did you
give me...
Plug in? Did you plug in?
Yeah, why?
Well, I was just asking, like, maybe you didn't do the hard wire, the hard line.
Oh, I didn't. You're right. Hold on.
There you go.
All right, I promise no more technical issues, but this was a human error issue that we've been experiencing here because I'm supposed to plug in my Ethernet and I forgot to do it. It's just not part of my podcast ritual. You know what I mean? Like, I get everything set up. I get my tray that I set the computer on so it's at a good height to record me and all this other stuff. But it's only the second time we're using a wired connection for me. So.
Yeah.
My apologies to you, Derek, and to everybody at home for making this confusing. All right, let's...
everybody at home, they don't notice. They didn't wait.
They're going to know that it's all choppy, and they're going to want to know what the rest of my thoughts about Nia DaCosta are. Which I just like when the basic narratives get undercut.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really interesting, there's two other things that are interesting to me. One of which is that there have been pictures of actress Sadie Sink on the set of Brand New Day.
Yeah.
And in one of the pictures, she's wearing camo pants and combat boots. And I don't know what exactly to make of that, but there's been a lot of rumors that the Punisher's young girl sidekick is going to be in this movie. And that adds some credence to it, that she would be dressed as a Punisher young girl sidekick. They have her under like a ton of different like tops and stuff like that, so that you can't really see much. She has red hair, we know that. But I think that would be really interesting. I kind of would like the Punisher to have a little sidekick. I would actually absolutely love the Punisher to have a little sidekick in this movie. Like, that would be my favorite. Robin. Yeah, my favorite thing. She's from the comics. This is not like a made-up character. The other thing is a picture of Spider-Man himself standing with Lisa Colon-Zayas, who you might know from The Bear. She's the lady in the kitchen who says Jeff instead of chef. And she's wearing like a very police-oriented trench coat. Looks like a real cop. And this adds a little bit of weight to the theory that she might be playing Jean DeWolf. Mm. I think that'd be pretty great if Jean DeWolf shows up in this.
I'd love it. It's one of my favorite storylines.
Yeah, and like if we end up with Jean DeWolf as like a character throughout these films and we have that entire arc leading to the death of Jean DeWolf, I think it'd be really cool. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Get some Sin Eater in there.
Yeah, somebody else said that she could be Miles Morales' mom, and that they made her the cop rather than the dad in this universe. That's also not unreasonable. Like, that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. But I don't know.
We'll see.
So yeah.
We'll find out.
They've been doing so much location shooting on Brand New Day that it's interesting. We don't usually get this many photos out of these movies anymore.
No. I mean, we've seen, I think, a recent shift towards this, where these movies are doing more on location work.
Yeah,
right.
It looks
like
better.
Superman did a bunch.
Yeah.
I feel like Captain America did a bunch. Like, obviously, they weren't filming in Washington, D.C., but I feel like they did a lot of outdoor stuff. Mm-hmm. And now with Spider-Man as well. And especially that footage that's old, and I believe we talked about it when it came out, but the footage of Spider-Man just swinging down the street where they got him connected to the truck and stuff, it's just exciting to see, and it's cool and different.
You hear that?
You know, I do.
It's a military helicopter. They have a different sound. I don't know if it's really picking up. But sometimes you get military helicopters overhead here in Los Angeles. Donald Trump just bombed California yesterday.
He almost killed his own vice president again.
Yeah, can't quite get it done, though. Can't quite get it done. Keep trying, Donnie. You'll get there eventually,
At first you don't succeed.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight of all of this Spider-Man shooting for me is a video that I keep seeing getting passed around, and it's a little kid in a Spider-Man costume. And Spider-Man, the stunt guy, is like on a tank and he's being like taken by, and they do the action and then they have to reset. And as they're going back, the kid's waving at Spider-Man and Spider-Man turns to him and waves at him. And I was like, that's awesome.
You can't beat that kind of stuff.
That's what you want out of this stuff.
You can't beat that. You see that stuff with Tom Holland does that as well, like where he goes on and talks to the fans and whatnot. And there were pictures from when they were filming Superman of David Cornsweet doing that, like walking around as Superman and talking to all the kids and stuff. And it's just like, that's what you want these actors to do, right? You want them to be open to the kids and just feeding that sense of magic to them, you know, except for Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. He should like push the kids away.
Speaking of David Cornsweet, did you see the weird war that broke out between Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers this week?
No.
Zack Snyder posted, he joined Instagram, and he posted a black and white picture of Henry Cavill in the Superman costume, and he said, Henry Cavill is Superman. And that got picked up by the Snyder Bros. And fucking HBO Max put out a mass mailing to everybody that says, David Cornsweet is Superman. Watch him right now on HBO Max. And it's 100% a response to Zack Snyder's thing. And it's so insane. I mean, I guess it's like we live in that world now, like where the president posts a video of himself dumping shit on Americans, that the corporation should get into a little bit of a bitch slap fight with an old director. I guess shouldn't be that surprising to me. But man, it's nuts. So, yeah.
Fucking exhausting. Let it go, man.
All right, you got any news? We got any letters this week?
We do. Robin says, do you know how I can watch Peacemaker or listen to your podcast and not have my brain go to a dozen screaming Stella Mud androids yelling Harcourt every time the name is said?
Yeah,
I do not get this. I know it's a Star Trek reference, but I do not.
His name is Harcourt Mud.
Yeah,
Harcourt Mud.
Okay.
And he has the android ladies. Mud's women. I say there's like a really great there's a great line in the Ed Gein Show where Anthony Perkins is talking to a psychiatrist, and she says it's fallen out of favor, but lobotomy is incredibly effective. And so that's my advice to Robin. It's fallen out of favor, but if you're having repeating noises and words in your head, a lobotomy is incredibly effective. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to go with that one.
There you go. There you go. Tom H. says, a few years back, Devin plugged Douglas Wolk's book, All the Marvels, which I greatly enjoyed, and it got me back into comics in a big way, so thanks. In particular, following from Wolk's strong recommendation in said book, I read Ryan North's Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, which is utterly delightful, smart, and hilarious, an all-time favorite. Every few episodes of your show, Devin is talking about the current run of Fantastic Four or the One World Under Doom event, which are also authored by Ryan North. I am likewise enjoying those greatly, and it sounds like Devin is liking them too. What both of you may not know is that Ryan North also writes Lower Decks comics, and they are perfect. As good as the show is, if not better. North recently released Warp Your Own Way, which is a choose-your-own-adventure Lower Decks graphic novel, where the choose-your-own-adventure structure is actually part of the story as a science fiction element. It also has the only time I've noticed an overt Star Wars joke in Star Trek, and it is hilarious. For Derek, Ryan North has also started a comic run at DC, Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, which is the dog's eye view of how Crypto came to Earth and found Superman. It's less overtly silly, other than centering a dog, but it is sweet and engaging. So I guess my question is, have I convinced either of you to check out Ryan North's other comics, or have I already read any of them besides his Fantastic Four stuff? Any thoughts? This is probably more of a recommendation than a question, but it seemed like something you or your listeners might like. Love the shows. Thanks for the Double Watchmen in July. You're welcome, Ryan North.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Hold on, my cat is screaming outside my door, so let me go get the cat. You talk about this Crypto. Have you read that yet?
I have not read the Crypto yet. It is on my my list, but I just have not had the time or the moment to pick it up. I'm still picking up on a lot of older stuff. I have read other Ryan North stuff. I'm trying to remember what other stuff of his I've read. I did not read on Squirrel Girl. Jughead. I read his Jughead, which was very good. I really enjoyed that. Apparently he did Slaughterhouse 5 graphic novel.
You hear about that?
I do.
He left the room, and now he's out there yelling out the window.
There you go.
He's talking to his friends out the window. He knows that I'm making a podcast right now. He knows when I'm writing, and like I'm really into it, he'll begin screaming out there.
Yeah.
Like he 100% is aware when I'm writing. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I think the only thing I've read of his is the Jughead issues he did.
I have not read the Lower Decks, but I do know they exist, and I'm aware of them, and I just have not gotten around to them. I want to spoil the latest issue of Fantastic Four a little bit for folks, because it is one of the best science fiction comic book stories I have ever read. And I want to convince people to give the Ryan North Fantastic Four a good shot, because this issue is amazing. So the long story is that Doom had taken away Ben Grimm's powers and made it permanent, right? And so he was sad and wanted his powers back, whatever. But also then it began to turn out that when Ben's powers gone, the powers of the others began to fade, that they're somehow intrinsically linked, and that when they were close together, their powers could be a little bit better, but like generally speaking, like their powers were diminishing. And so they needed to get Ben back into the Thing to figure out how to, so that they could get their powers back, especially because Doom is the Emperor of the Earth right now, and they're needed. They try a bunch of different stuff. None of it works. It's kind of disastrous a couple of times. And this latest issue, Valeria is like, what if we went back? So we've been looking for like places that have cosmic rays, and they're really hard to find, and like we have to be the right place at the right time. What if, there is a time when there were a lot of cosmic rays, and you don't have to get in the way of it. They were trying to go back to their own origin and like get the cosmic rays from their origin. Okay. And that was disastrous, like for obvious reasons. Like, what if we went there and went then? And Reed's like, no, I know what you're talking about, the Big Bang. And like, no, we cannot go back to the Big Bang. We cannot survive in the Big Bang. And so they decided they're going to do it. They're going to go back to the Big Bang. They super hyper upgrade Herbie, because they have to be at the Big Bang for like 1/1,000,000th of a second. Otherwise they will be destroyed. And so the speed with which it has to be done, no human being could possibly do. And even Herbie can't, but they really upgrade him really, really high. And the whole comic is told from Herbie's point of view. And Herbie kind of becomes self-aware and begins to understand like what's going on, and like how much he loves these people and stuff like that. They go back in time. The calculations were not correct, and they immediately begin being destroyed. And Herbie's so fast that like in the millionth of a second, this is all happening. He tries different things, like the ship shuts down. He can't use the time stuff. There's too many of them. And then he realizes that he's going to have to sacrifice himself and send the rest of them back in time and back to the present. But he's going to have to die. And he's like, I'm so honored to do this. This is so amazing. And he does it, and Ben Grimm gets his powers back, and the Fantastic Four end up back on Earth. And then at the end of the comic, Reed and Valeria are talking, and Reed is like, Valeria said, I've been thinking about this one element of about the creation of the universe, which is that there was a little bit of an imbalance between antimatter and matter, and that's why the universe is matter, because there was just a little bit extra matter at the Big Bang, because otherwise the antimatter would have all annihilated itself and there would be nothing. And so they're talking about it, and they realize that Herbie and their ship staying back at the Big Bang brought enough extra matter into the mix that it allowed the universe to be created. And I was like, I fucking love this. I love this so much. And it's just like, what?
Bit of a time paradox there.
Yes, 100%. It's 100%. And Reed says this is impossible. This could not happen because this is a paradox. But she's like, yeah, but it did happen, though. That's the thing. Like, we definitely went back in time. We definitely were at the Big Bang. And we definitely left behind Herbie and the ship. And so, like, 100%, we put the extra matter into the universe. And so Reed is like, this couldn't happen, but we got saved because Herbie loved us. And if the creation of the universe was based on love, then you know what? I'm going to believe in it anyway. And I was like, that's really great. That's really, really terrific. So that's the kind of stuff that Ryan North is doing on Fantastic Four, like really smart, fun, very like loving and family oriented stuff. Yeah. But with a really great science fiction element to it. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. I spoil. That's the whole comic I just told you. But I feel like you have to know the end to sort of get why I thought that this comic was so amazing.
Yeah.
So,
I get it. I get it. Samich says, I have a question. Are there any stories from the Bible you thought were stupid? I remember reading my grandma's Bible as a kid when my Game Boy ran out of batteries and I didn't have a power cord. and I read the story of the Tower of Babel and thought it was dumb as hell. A story made up to supposedly explain why there are different languages around the world just seemed unnecessary. Any stories from the Bible you all think suck butt?
You have one to start off with?
Not really.
Because I have a long answer to this.
I mean, no. I mean, the stories in the Bible to me are not much different than the stories in comic books, in that they're fun little stories, but they're not overly important at the end of the day.
I don't think there are any dumb stories in the Bible, because I look at the Bible stories like I look at Greek myth. And so within that context, like the Tower of Babel, the story's awesome because all the people of the world come together and they're going to build a tower. And the premise of the tower is they're going to go to heaven. Like they're going to build a tower to go to heaven and meet God. And God is like, the fuck you are. And he destroys the tower, but to make sure that people cannot get together and do this again, he creates all the different languages and cultures so that the people cannot talk to each other and they can't plan how to get back to heaven physically. And that's awesome. That's like an awesome story. Yeah. And all of the Bible stories that are like dumb are awesome in that way. Like the story of Elisha, who was a prophet, who a couple of kids made fun of him for being bald. So he asked God to get them, and God sent a bear to kill the children. Fucking rules. It's stupid as hell, but it fucking rules. This guy got mad at me calling him bald, and God killed kids with a bear. The bear tore them to pieces. It's fucking amazing. So yeah, I don't think there are dumb
Which
Bible
also shows
stories.
that God has a sense of humor, because a bear, and his head was bare.
God was working on English puns back then. That was the whole thing. It didn't make sense at the time. People didn't understand why. But
in 2,000 years, people are going to find this hilarious.
You're not going to get this one, but your kids are going to love it. So that's my take on most of the dumb stories in the Bible. You know, like King David has to get 100 Philistine foreskins in order to marry the queen. Like, that's fucking awesome. It's stupid as shit, but it's awesome. So that's kind of my take on it. I think the Bible's got like a lot of really great stories that are wild. Like a lot of them, especially in the Old Testament, are nuts. There's a really good one that I was thinking of. I was trying to figure out like what the dumbest. There's like one in the New Testament in Acts of the Apostles where the Apostle Paul is giving a big sermon and it's like going on and on and on and on forever. And there's a kid listening from a window and the kid's so bored he falls asleep and he falls out the third floor window and dies. And then Paul runs over and brings him back to life using a miracle. And I love that one because the whole premise of this story is that Paul is a really shitty speaker.
The one thing I wish for that story is that the kid's name is Heckle, and that's where hecklers come from. That would be amazing.
So, I mean, yeah, I kind of think most of the Bible stories are pretty great. When you look at them through that lens of here's a weird bit of ancient mythology and folklore and how odd it is, like it's just really cool. So
yeah, I mean, they're just fun stories, you know? And I like the idea that at some point a bunch of people are sitting around and they were like, why do you think those guys over there speak a different language than we do? And one guy was like, you know what probably happened was everyone was trying to build a giant tower to heaven, and God was like, get the fuck out of here. And he blew it up and created all the different languages. And everyone else was like, yeah, that sounds good.
But that sounds like a story.
No, but that's not what happened. It's a fable.
But it sounds, that's the thing, it sounds like a story that people told to explain hubris and like to talk about like, you know, like being humble before God. Yeah, it's Icarus. It's just a new take on Icarus. And I think that's really terrific. So, I mean, Icarus is a stupid story. Like, he made wax wings and then he flew up to the sun. What was he, out in space? Like, give me a break. Yeah. But, like, if we look at it that way, we're missing out on the beauty of a lot of Greek myth. Like, there's not, like, a lot that we can scientifically hold on to. But, so anyway, I think a lot of stories in the Bible are pretty great, even when they're, especially when they're dumb. That's when they're kind of the most
wackier
fun.
they are, the better.
Yeah.
You know, that's, again, it's the same with comic books. The crazier the story is in the comics, the more I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to see how this comes together. And then I know in the next chapter, they're just never going to discuss it. And we're just going to move on because it's too crazy that Superman married Jimmy Olsen off to a gorilla. Is like, you're not going to talk about that in 2 issues, you know?
I mean, they did follow through on that. in the Jimmy Olsen miniseries.
Yeah.
He wakes up married to a
it took
gorilla.
like 50 years.
Oh, he wakes up married to not to a gorilla, but to a mercenary from another dimension. By the way, Steve Lieber was doing one of his donate to trans law center things, and I'll send you a sketch, and I did it.
Oh, good.
And I asked for a Jimmy Olsen sketch. I said, if I'm going to get a Steve Lieber sketch, I'm going to want the Jimmy Olsen. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, so...
That's one of my regrets is I did not do Jimmy Olsen. I should have done Jimmy Olsen.
I know that you don't like the one that you got from him.
I like it. It's a good drawing. It's just, it's not my preferred version of Wally's costume. That's all.
But that's the thing. So then I was like, oh no, should I actually... Like, I sent him the request, and he's like, will do. And I was like, oh, should I go reply and like specify like Turtle Boy or something like that? But I was like, no, I just want a classic Jimmy Olsen. I want him just to do a classic Jimmy Olsen. Like, I think that's what I want. So if I ever do this again, maybe I'll ask for a Turtle Boy or something like that. Bizarro Jimmy Olsen or something. But yeah, just a classical, good old fashioned. And I said to him in the email, I was like, I need Jimmy Olsen from you. So I think that's some of the best comic book work in the 21st century is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. I think.
Well, he'll love that because he's constantly talking about wanting to do more Jimmy Olsen.
It's fucking amazing.
It's an amazing series.
Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you're listening to this, they just put out hardcover. They have I think a soft cover too collection. It's 12 issues, right? It's 12 issue miniseries, and it's Jimmy Olsen, and it's nuts, but it's also like really affecting, and it's sweet, and it's weird, and it's all of the things.
Yeah, and it created one of the great memes of all time that I don't see get used very often, which is when it's a panel of Jimmy looking haggard and freaked out, and Lois Lane behind him saying, well, you've created a lot of content, Jimmy. I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a great series.
It's a great series. We highly recommend. Look how much comic book talk we did this opening.
Yeah.
We did a lot of comic books this time. Yeah. That's not usually our thing. All right. Are you ready to talk about the Marvel Zombies 4-episode miniseries?
Yes.
Let's do it. Marvel Zombies Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 4. I don't have to remember the titles of these ones.
Nope.
So when they announced the Marvel Zombies thing, I think both of us were like, ugh. Right? That was like, I think, our general... We're not what-if people.
No.
And this is spinning out of a what-if episode. And it has the what-if aesthetic. And I think both of us... And also, I'm not a big fan of Marvel Zombies. Like, it's just not like... It never really worked for me, per se.
Never grabbed me.
Which makes it all the more surprising that I kind of loved this.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. I think it's a well-done series. I think there are two things that became very clear watching this.
Yeah.
One, they should get more comic book people to write their animated shows.
Yeah.
Zeb Wells, I think, does a very, very good job. And two, perhaps the problem with What If is trying to condense storylines into 25 to 30 minutes was not a great idea. If you have time to play around more, you can do more.
Yeah.
You know, and the show gets to do more. And the show also has that feeling that we've discussed before of like classic pre-Endgame Marvel of just different characters bouncing off of each other.
Yep. It's funny. Some of these characters we're only going to see bounce off of each other in this cartoon, I think.
Some of these characters I think we'll only ever see in this cartoon. Blade.
How awesome is Blade in this?
He's great.
In this one, Blade is Moon Knight. He is the avatar of Khonshu. The Moon Knight that we know died in the zombie initial plague, and now Blade is the avatar, and he rules so hard. Yeah. He also seems like way more powerful than the other Moon Knight.
I guess he has his blade powers, and he's not split up by different personalities.
That's the thing, because I think
control.
Right, because the thing is that he's really in touch with Khonshu, and so like he's always telling people like duck because he knows what's about to happen next. And he doesn't seem to have like a super duper amount of prophecy, but it seems like he knows what's going to happen in the next minute a lot of the time. And I fucking absolutely love that. It's like really cool. It's really, really cool. Yeah. And it's just a badass design too. Him in that Moon Knight outfit is incredible. Yeah. There's not a ton of... There's some humor in it. There's not like a ridiculous amount. One of my favorite bits, though, is Scott Lang saying, all white in a zombie apocalypse. That's certainly a choice. And I thought that was really great. Because he's pristine the whole show. He never gets dirty. Like, no matter how many zombies he's...
Everybody's pristine in the whole show, which is, I mean,
Yeah, but
it's an animation thing.
They look grubby, though.
Some of them do. Like, Kamala Khan never looks grubby. She looks fine the entire time. You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I guess.
I mean, I get it. It's an animation thing. You're not going to create different models going through each episode. I get it. 100%.
He's like one of my favorite characters in this. I'm also really in bed with this one because Kamala Khan is presented as one of the most powerful beings in the MCU, and they actually let her use her powers in really cool ways, and I kind of love it.
Yes. I do wish there was more of an explanation of why she is so important to Wanda's goal, and that's never explained. Wanda's just like, I need you to be part of this, and it's not...
Well, this ends on a cliffhanger that they obviously hope to do another one.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean, like, and so I'm kind of curious where that goes because it seems like Ironheart is not dead.
I guess not.
Right?
We don't see Ironheart die.
We don't. We just assume that she dies.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we're not going to go beat by beat like we usually do with these shows because this is basically a movie, and that's just going to take forever.
It was supposed to be a movie.
It was supposed to be a movie. They had to cut it up into a TV show because they wanted to use Spider-Man, and they only have the rights to Spider-Man in TV shows. But they obviously cut it up into a TV show very early in the process because this is excellently divided into episodes.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, really, like, it's a quest show, and each episode they go to a different quest location. Like, it really 100%.
And each episode, you know when you're getting to the end of an episode because one of the Black Widow characters dies.
They do knock them off one by one, don't they?
and two of them in a very similar fashion of like, it's time for somebody to die to move the story along. I guess I'll just stand here and die.
I don't understand why Mama Widow dies, but I do understand.
There is no reason for her to die. There is no reason.
I guess the argument is that she knows that that they can blow through those doors pretty easily. So she's hoping, I mean, she does reprogram the zombies. And so she's hoping it'll stick and that she can use the zombies to fight off the Scion and give everybody more time. Because once she does that, I'm like, oh, this is not a terrible plan. But unfortunately, the Scion can just take back the zombies. Yeah. That's the thing. So the show opens with Kamala Khan and Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and Ironheart, and they are living in New York, and it's a post-zombie. It's like probably 5 years after.
It's 5 years, yeah. Which is funny because the What If Marvel Zombies episode, I looked this up later. I did not remember this, and I was trying to figure out the timeline of it all. Starts 2 weeks before Infinity War, so it's essentially the same time frame of what would have happened in Infinity War.
I mean that, and you see that because Thor shows up with Rocket and Groot, which is what he does in Infinity War.
And as a new Asgard is there, although it's different, it's underground instead.
But that seems like they've moved it underground in the last 5 years. That's the
but I mean, New Asgard formed over those 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, I guess then when they formed it, they just moved it underground. They never had it above. Okay,
because there was a zombie apocalypse happening.
They our heroes are going into the city to do stuff and get supplies. They also have Friday, which is a Iron Man suit that has a teddy bear head, and Kerry Condon. I can't believe who came back to do voices for this.
It's very interesting who came back and who didn't.
I think part of it might have been who was already filming, or you know what I mean. That's probably a piece of it.
And Elizabeth Olsen.
But that's the thing. Elizabeth Olsen is the most shocking return because, like, I do think that they're bringing her back in a significant way. I think that they're lying to us about her coming back in live action. They keep saying, like, yeah, we don't really have anything. I can't imagine how Vision Quest ends without Wanda showing up. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because this week, somebody was giving an interview and said that Vision Quest is the final
end of the
trilogy. Yeah. And so, like, it seems like they gotta have her. Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense otherwise. No. Whether it be like some kind of like AI version of her or
Although at the same time, calling this a trilogy is really stretching the bounds of what a trilogy is.
Is it though?
Yes.
Why?
Because Agatha all along doesn't really connect to WandaVision that much.
It connects fundamentally to WandaVision because the kid is the son. Yeah. It's fundamental. Like the whole thing.
All right, well, let's go off of that then. That kid, you need Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness for that to work. Right there, that's 4 parts now. No longer a trilogy. Just by the meaning of the word.
I don't know if you need that because that happened. WandaVision happened before Doctor Strange.
Yes, but WandaVision is her trying to get her kids back, and that's how he ends up back, isn't it?
No, I think we don't know. I believe is the deal, and I believe that she just created them out of magic. They don't come into our reality in Doctor Strange. So my suspicion is they just exist from the WandaVision event. So that's what.
Then I do hope that Wanda comes back and sees her kids, and she's like, "Oh, if I just waited like a week, all this would have worked out the way I wanted it to." Huh?
Yeah, it would have. That's kind of great. I like when that's the story. Like somebody does something really fucked up, and like, shit, I could have totally just waited this one out. So they're in New York City, and a Quinjet crashes while they're there, and they get really excited about it. But it turns out because they hope that there's like a lot of supplies in the Quinjet, but it's empty, and there's a dead body in the cockpit, and it turns out the dead body has something in his stomach, and they need to get it out. So we have a sequence where they have to play rock, paper, scissors to figure out who gets it out, and then they dig the thing out of his guts, and it's a tiny little transmitter. We learn later on that it is a transmitter that has been shrunk down by Pym particles, and it's a transmitter that's supposed to contact the Nova Corps. And then we get into some zombie action, and then finally the kids decide they're going to go travel.
It's self-confusing.
What?
That they have a transmitter that is set to the not coordinates, the radio signal or whatever of the Nova Corps, because as far as we know, nobody on Earth knows about the Nova Corps.
I don't know. Captain Marvel was hanging around back in the 90s.
But she doesn't connect to the Nova Corps.
I mean, she was an enemy of the Nova Corps.
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe the premise here is that, like, this is some kind of... Or the Skrulls. I mean, I think the premise here is this is something that's in somebody's deep... This is why it was like a last-ditch effort, because it was probably in somebody's deep computer files. Like, we found this thing where it's the coordinates to this international... It's, it's whether Carol told them, or the Skrulls, or there's some other character that we don't know about in the past.
The Skrulls went to Nick Fury, and they're like, there's this thing called the Nova Corps. They're like the police of all the galaxy. Maybe if you contact them, they can find a new planet for us. He's like, yeah, right on that. Don't worry about it.
Then they go on this road trip, and then they end up in the Valley of the... What is it? Valley of the Battling Gods or something like that?
The Dead Gods or something?
The Dead Gods?
Valley of the We Remember the Eternals Exist.
Yeah, I mean, Icarus shows up here, and he's locked in eternal combat with Captain Marvel. I actually really like this.
This was awesome. It's a great concept.
This was the part where I was like, oh, okay, this might actually be really good. Like, because the first bit, I was like, okay, it's fine,
This is a part where it felt like the best of, like, Marvel Comics crossover stuff, where they just get real weird with it, and they're like, these characters are doing this thing, and now it's got some kind of mythical name to it, and don't worry about it. We're just going to have this happen for 4 issues.
Yeah, and it's like, there's like a lot of really big world building in this. Like the Skrulls are there, and they happen to have a motorcycle gang in the desert. Like, I mean, like it's awesome. And
cows.
It is funny that which is a joke about Fantastic Four, their first appearance, because the Fantastic Four made them turn into cows. It is funny that the show does not tell you who Icarus is. Nobody says it's Icarus. Nope. Nobody, like, you have to guess it. And and it's really funny because also, like, you don't get a good look at him.
There's like one shot where you can see his shoulder, and it's clearly an Eternals costume. And that's how I knew it. I was like, oh,
yeah. But I was like, at first, I was like, is this Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch? Because it looks like he's shooting fire, kind of. Yeah. And then Friday says that one of these is a zombie and one of them is a malfunctioning synthetic.
Inorganic,
yeah. And but that's like awesome. That's the kind of stuff that I love in these stories, and I think it's really great that it gets worked into here. In the course of this, though, the show lets you know it's not playing games because it immediately kills Kate Bishop, and well, we think Ironheart.
Yeah.
And also probably Friday. One assumes. I mean, who knows? But that's for the sequel, I guess, right? But Kate Bishop fucking dies hard, too.
Yeah.
A lot of people die. Fucking Rocket Raccoon gets turned into a skeleton and his skull comes flying at the camera.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, they do some good deaths in there.
It ends up that they have to go to the SHIELD base in Ohio. That's where they were going. When they get there, it's run by the Black Widow characters. So it's Yelena, Red Guardian, and Black Widow Mama. And
I have her name down.
And Melina. So we kill off more of them. They go running, and we end up at the end of that episode with her sacrificing her life.
I do want to give credit to the actor.
Blade shows up. Blade saves Kamala.
Yeah. I do want to give credit to the actor who plays Melina in this, because it's not Rachel Weisz, but this actor was dedicated to doing a bad Russian accent like Rachel Weisz did.
Well, that's what's happening. Like sometimes these voice actors, they'll come in and they'll just do the thing that the original actor did. Yeah. Because they don't want to make it feel too different. I like that Florence Pugh showed up and did this. And she feels like she might be having a nice time doing it too. There's like something about the way that she acts it that seems like she's probably having a good time.
She's having a good time. She's also about a foot taller in the What If universe than she is in the live action universe.
We don't know what happened in the 5 years in between.
I guess not, but when she's standing next to Red Guardian, she's like up to his nose, where if you watch like Thunderbolts, she's like chest height. So good for her. She grew.
David Harbour is having the time of his fucking life.
Oh, he's having a blast.
David Harbour likes doing these animated things because he had a good time in his episode of What If.
Yeah.
And here he
just likes doing this character.
He loves doing this character.
Yeah.
They do right by Red Guardian.
They do.
They really do. It's like crazy. Like
he has his fight with Captain America.
He gets his fight with Captain America. He kills Captain America by landing on him and squashing him. But also, like, he has a real emotional story. And in that other What If, he was just a joke. They just used him as a joke. And in Thunderbolts, it's close. Like, he's pretty jokey. You know what I mean? Like, he does have an emotional thing, but the jokes come first.
Yeah.
He's not as jokey here. He is jokey. He is funny. But, like, there's, like, a real serious, significant emotional story here for him that I was really impressed by. I'm
guessing in the What If episode for Marvel Zombies that Black Widow dies.
That's my guess. She has to.
Right? Because she's not in this.
And, she's definitely.
I was like, she must have died in that. But I don't remember.
The next episode opens with us looking at, like, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. Sean, he's still. I mean, Awkwafina is there. And they're still valets. And then we flash back to the zombies hitting San Francisco. My favorite part of this is that somehow Pym particles get unleashed in the course of
and
this.
There's giant insects. There's a giant seagull. There's giant zombies. I was like, this is awesome. This
is
good. Great.
And the giant zombies come back later, too.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I loved it. When you first see the giant insects, I was like, oh, that's fun. And then you see the giant man get attacked by a giant zombie. I was like, this is genius.
I want to know how those Pym particles got out. I love this premise that the Pym particles somehow got out and people are just getting fucking hit with it. Like, I think that's so great.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And they don't explain it, but I like that about it. They they make sure you know it's Pym particles because at one point they see a guy in the distance and he suddenly grows and he has those like lines of growth. So you understand what's happening, but nobody
and then later
on
when they're talking about the transmitter and Kamala's like, oh, it's been shrunk by Pym particles. Do you know what those are? And Katie goes, oh, we know Pym particles because of this. Yeah,
it's really good. I really, really like that about it. It's a really good sequence. They run into Jimmy Woo, and then Shang-Chi's father shows up, and Shang-Chi gets bit on the arm, and the father sacrifices his life to give him the 10 rings, which will hold off the zombie infection in his arm. I do have a small complaint about this, and I understand why they didn't do this, because it's sort of just like fall momentum oriented. but I kind of thought that every time he used the rings, the infection should
spread.
Yeah. I thought that would be, but I think that's a great concept for like a show or like a character in a comic.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand in the course of this story,
that's too much time. It would take up.
Yeah, it takes so much time. It's just too much stuff added, and you kind of want him to be doing endless cool ring shit.
Yeah,
because he does do, and also he gives half the rings to Awkwafina.
Yes,
which I liked a lot. I like that.
I like that too. I like that. One thing I'd like to point out is in this sequence when they're running through the destruction of San Francisco, Awkwafina, Katie, continuously says, "My mom. We have to check on my mom." And at one point she goes, "What about my mom?" And there's a part of me that wonders if when they were putting together the show, they couldn't remember if she had other family members or not.
I think that could look that up.
Like in the movie, and they were like, just have somebody cut her off, and she'll just keep talking about her, and we'll move on.
I really liked his dad sacrificing his life for him. I really actually liked that a lot. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really, really good. And we basically see that in the modern day, they have they're on their way to New Orleans with this whole ragtag band, including Death Dealer from Shang-Chi, who's like hanging out with Jimmy Woo. Their relationship's amazing. Yeah. Because Death Dealer doesn't talk and Jimmy Woo doesn't shut up. So it's like a very nice bit. And you can't ever read Death Dealer's face because there's a mask.
He's got that mask.
And so it's really great. Like when Jimmy Woo's like, "Do you want the top bunk, bottom bunk? You probably want the top bunk, right? You're a cool guy." And he just stands there and just finally throws his bag on the bottom bunk.
Well, I like that because he's like, "Do you want the top bunk? Because I really want the top bunk. Are we going to have to fight about this?" And then Death Dealer just gets on the bottom bunk. I was like, that's fun.
Yeah, so it turns out that they're headed to New Orleans, which is it turns out the raft. This answers, assuming that there's a canonical element to this answers a lot of questions about the raft.
I guess.
Right? Because we didn't know anything about it. Like, do you have to, is it attached to the seafloor? But according to this, no, it is a mobile unit.
Yeah, it can move around.
It can fly. Yeah. Or no, can it fly?
No.
Or is that just Wanda doing that?
I think that's just Wanda. That's how I took that.
So it turns out that Baron Zemo is running the raft, and
what's his name is there?
John Walker is his right hand man.
Yeah, without super soldier stuff.
Right. Yeah.
This will be before that.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't ever get to become a super soldier. So basically, our heroes, we find the rest of the characters, Kamala and the Black Widow characters, are there as well, and the two teams meet up, and there's a quick fight, classic Marvel style, because they think that Shang-Chi is infected, and then they get on the boat. Zemo doesn't want it. He hates heroes. I actually like this a lot. I like Zemo a lot in this. At first his voice, I was like, this sucks. Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I'm with it. And also this character is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, Zemo's great. Zemo's great. I wish there was more of a dive into what his thing is. Like, is he bringing these other people to a safe place? It's not clear.
No, I think it's pretty clear what's happening.
That he's just bringing people out to have them get killed by
because
Namor?
He wants to be safe in the ocean, and he's going to feed them to Namor to maintain protection. That's what he's doing. He's feeding people to Namor to keep himself protected.
It seems very weird.
Why is that weird? That's an awesome villain plot that he convinces people.
It is, but why not just stay in New Orleans, where that place is? That seems
because you're still on the land, and there still could be a horde of zombies showing up. In the sea with Namor, as your guy, you're fine. You're technically, you're supposedly fine. You probably not in real life, but in this situation, he's the king of the sea. So all that stuff, and also
how often does he have to go back at more people?
He must have done it before because he is picking up a new group of people, and everybody knows about the city on the sea. Yeah. So he must have done this before. He must have done this.
How often are you doing it? Because once you go out there, and it looks like he's got a lot of people. He's got 250
He's
people.
got the raft filled up. Yeah.
And at some point, when you launch out the first group, and you're like, we just need that to keep these people away, and everyone's like, that's cool. How many weeks are you doing this for?
I mean, maybe a bunch of weeks. It's 5 years since the zombie apocalypse, so there's a possibility that he can do this for a couple of years. That seems reasonable. I'm assuming that he took the raft because he was in it. That's my guess.
That would be my theory. Yeah.
But my other guess is that he probably will show back up and say like, oh, we found a really great island, and we can't have everybody go because it's still an island, but like we can have some more people go. I think he's just buying time. I don't know that he has like a long-term plan here. It's like a buying time thing. Like he knows that he can't be on the land because it's too dangerous, and he knows that he has this thing where he can feed people to Namor, and I'm assuming to the Atlanteans who have become zombies as well. Yeah. That's my guess, that the Atlanteans are zombies and they need food, and so Namor is basically probably going to bring people back. And also we see when he starts feeding the superheroes to Namor, he has this whole thing like they're going to sacrifice their lives so that we can all live. Like you can imagine the scenario where he's like, we have to make sacrifices and we're going to have a way of choosing. Like, like you can imagine how this whole thing works. I think it rules though. It rules really hard. And he sacrifices the superheroes to Namor, who's awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Really like Namor in this a lot. I like that Namor busts out of the Hulk-proof tank.
Yes, that's very fun.
And also something I was thinking about while watching.
I like that they're like, when they hear the Atlanteans on the outside, and John Walker's like, oh, I hate that sound, and Zemo's like, don't worry, this place is impenetrable to any power except for him. And it's like, that's pretty cool. Like, they're like, except for Namor. If he gets in here, we're fucked.
One of the things I liked about this is that, actually, one of the things I don't like about the MCU that end up really working nicely here is that the MCU doesn't have a ton of, like, hyper-powered characters. And I'm always kind of annoyed. Like, we've been at this for so long. Why is the power level so traditionally low most of the time? Yeah. But in this series, because there's not a lot of big power characters, you don't have like as much like it can be still exciting when Namor is this powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then also at the end, because the MCU's never done something like this. This is a very traditional comic book thing where like the Hulk is the holder of the infinity energies and he's like the keeper of them. That's like a very classic comic book concept that they've never done in the MCU. And it feels really cool here because we've never seen it in the MCU. It feels really fresh, even though it's something they've been doing since Stan and Jack. Like, it's that old, this concept. But because the MCU has been really afraid of doing a lot of power, you can tell how much the MCU is afraid of doing a lot of power is that nobody believes that Blade is the Khonshu avatar, and they're all shocked by the Minotaur. And you're like, oh yeah, that's because the MCU, nothing super weird happens. Like, it's superhero stuff, but it's aliens and guys in suits. Like, it's never like truly weird ass shit.
Magic has become more of a thing in the MCU, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, I don't know that it has. I feel like Doctor Strange is
definitely out there at this point.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a big, well-known guy. I think that he becomes well-known, in my guess, is in Endgame.
Well, that is, yeah, probably. And that is one thing that, on a different level, bugs me in this, is when Kamala wakes up at the
Kamar-Taj?
Kamar-Taj, and she's like, oh my God, Spider-Man, I'm such a huge fan. There's no way people know about Spider-Man.
Oh, no, they definitely do.
They don't. There's no way.
She definitely does. Here's the
thing. Based on the timeline, Infinity War happened, and then Spider-Man sat around, or I'm sorry, Civil War happened, and then Spider-Man sat around doing nothing in New York for like a year.
I mean, we don't 100% know that. Because he's already well known in New York. People are like, hey, Spidey, do a flip for us. Like, he's around. He's around. So he's doing a lot of...
Also, she wouldn't have her powers, but that's another...
Yeah, whatever. I mean, like, she had the bangle the whole time, so...
She didn't get the bangle till after Endgame.
Did she? Maybe her grandma sent her the bangle. She says my grandma knew that I needed this. So yeah, that's the answer. But I do think that Kamala is the character who would know who Spider-Man is most of all. And if you think about how modern TikTok star trends work, or like pop star trends, somebody can be a huge fan of a guy that nobody heard of last week.
That's true.
Like they'll die for this guy.
That's very true.
Nobody ever heard of this guy. Even then, never heard of this guy before last week. So I think that really fits into how the culture works and how Kamala is a part of that generation. Yeah. So I had no problem with that. So I really like this bit at sea like a lot. I thought it was really great. And this, the first episode when they start killing people and we have the two Icarus and Captain Marvel fighting, I was like, oh, this is really much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. This bit, when it's like we have the Skrull motorcycle gang, which is a riff on the Skrull kill crew, and then we have the raft as like the refuge. I was like, oh, this fucking rules. They're just taking everything and they're playing with everything.
And taking the time to have like a dinner scene where they're all talking to each other and getting to know each other a little bit, and you get some funny back and forth. Seeing Jimmy and Red Guardian goofing around, and it's like, this is great. This is like, this is what makes the MCU so fun, is seeing these characters bouncing off one another.
Right.
So getting that was very fun. Yeah.
You know what's funny? They let Red Guardian take as much food as he wants, and that really has to indicate that they start killing people in large numbers pretty quickly, because they would not be like, take as much as you want. They would be like,
again, leads to my question, like, how many times is he doing this?
He might be going to different ports.
I guess. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Still, how many people are left?
Probably more than you'd expect, is my guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
But also, I think that, again, this is not a long-term plan.
Because we do see later on that the Wakanda event seems to wipe out all of Europe.
Yeah.
All of Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's not much there.
Yeah. I will say, no, doesn't the Wakanda event happen in Wakanda?
It happens in Wakanda, but they show like, it wipes out Egypt, it wipes out Paris, they say. Like, it took out like all of it seems like almost everything except for like the Americas is destroyed.
Well, I will say that again, that I don't think Zemo has a long-term plan, but I do wonder if his long-term plan is actually breeding. Like start growing his own people so that he can feed them to Namor. Like that's such excellent villainy. Sure. That's like absolute genocidal maniac stuff that I'm like, I would love to see that explored more. Yeah. But unfortunately, we don't get that because he dies.
This is the kind of story that is like, this is why every event story in comics now has 13 different like miniseries that surround it. So that because somebody, while they were working on the event story, is like, well, how does this work? And like, well, we'll need 4 issues to explain that. So we'll do this miniseries over here. Yeah. We are the problem.
Eventually, our heroes escape along. John Walker gets ripped in half in slow motion.
Wrecked.
Fucking so good, man. It's so good. I really like. Again, this is like one of those times you begin to see how powerful Kamala is because she's holding Namor back with her shield. Yeah. And also, by the way, when they changed her powers for the TV show, a lot of people didn't like it. I was kind of like iffy on it, but I think that actually the choice of the new powers actually makes her a player. And as we see here, like these are the powers that you can actually use in a thing. Like stretching your body, it's limited. You know what I mean? Like it's just really limited. And I like the idea that
I think we've discussed this before, that she was clearly being set up to be a major part of the multiverse saga because her rings connect to Shang-Chi. Their stuff looks a lot like Kang's ship and stuff like that. Like they were clearly setting all this up, and then we're like, nope, forget that. And poor Vellani is now just sitting around.
Like, she's got to be in these movies. Feige loves her.
She's got to be.
If she's not, loves her, and
it's a goddamn crime if she's not. Like,
agreed.
One of the best finds of the last decade, and she is so good as the character. She has so much love for this stuff. They can't, and I've discussed this before. You see a lot of times with actors, like screen actors, when they do voiceover work, it doesn't work well. Right. I think she does great in it.
She's really great. And it's funny. She loves this stuff so much that you get the sense like other people like, wow, they really got so-and-so. And then you're like, oh, well, Amon Vellani probably volunteered. Like she probably was like, don't even pay me. I just want to come and do this. Like, but she does amazing stuff in this. Like she's really like, there's a bit where she uses her energy crystals to just chop off the heads of an army of zombies.
That's awesome.
She smashes zombies between them. Like she really they're in a ship that blows up and she creates a bubble around them to enter Earth's atmosphere. That's like very powerful stuff.
The first real use of her power in this story is when they enter the Valley of the Dead Gods or whatever it's called. And the Uhura gets hit and it's crashing, and she forms a bubble around them
inside the car. Yeah,
I was like, that's great. That's such really cool. Great concept. Which did lead to one thing I really wish they had done. When she's on the back of Blade's motorcycle, I wish she had a construct helmet. I think that would have been funny.
That would have been pretty great. That would have been pretty great. Yeah. So John Walker gets a really good death, and the heroes also. That's when Yelena dies.
And that's when Kamala expands inside of Namor's head and it blows it up.
That rules so fucking hard.
It's
He's jumping at her, and then she goes to punch him, and I was like, "What are you doing, honey? Like that's crazy." And she has like her energy crystal on her hand, and so he bites down, and he can't bite down, but we see him like biting, and it starts cracking, and then I guess she realizes, "Oh, I know what I can do here," and she fucking just makes it explode out, and his head pops.
It's awesome.
So good.
It's awesome.
So good.
I love that so much.
And we saw that he's bulletproof. Like we know from the movies too, but like they really established.
They shoot him off here. Yeah, like they hit him with like swords and stuff. It does nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
But
she pops his head. It fucking rules. They make it to New Asgard, and Tessa Thompson shows up on the show.
Yep.
And F. Murray Abraham shows up on the show
for like one line.
Yeah, they got him on for one line.
I honestly wonder if that one line is just from Moon Knight and they just repurposed it.
I don't think so, because he specifies, doesn't he specify
Asgardian
or something?
He does, doesn't he? He's like, have you Asgardians forgotten me?
Right,
That's
yeah.
right, yeah.
So, like, it's definitely...
But that might be, too, because there's the scene in Moon Knight when all the different gods meet up. You know? So maybe...
I guess maybe, but my assumption is that they just had him... record. I mean,
they're like, hey, you just got fired from that show. You want a quick $20? Yeah.
You're good. Is he dead now?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. He should be dead. Not like in a negative way.
Fuck you, F. Murray Abraham.
No, I mean, like he did
get fired from the show for being inappropriate.
But... Yeah, but that's not a death sentence. I just mean he's so old.
Yeah.
Like it's just like he's one of those guys who's so old that when he dies, I'll be like, oh wow, he was still alive. Like that's he's that age, you know.
He's hanging out to see that new Amadeus miniseries. Wants to see what they do with I forgot who's playing him.
I saw our Discord was really kind of like upset about that, and I kind of don't get why you're upset about that. I don't either. And I love miniseries.
I love the movie. I think Amadeus is one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely love it. When I heard about that miniseries, I was like, "Oh yeah, that could be fun."
Yeah, I mean, like that's the story's a good story, and like, like if you expanded it out a little bit, like that.
Well, I mean, there was one thing. I believe it was in Discord where somebody's like, I can't believe they're remaking this. I'm like, well, the movie's a remake.
It's a play. Yeah.
It's fine.
The play is a remake, by the way. The play from the 70s is inspired by a play from the 1800s.
There you go.
Called Mozart and Salieri. So, like, this is just one of those stories. I think it's kind of like...
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
It's a great story because I think especially these days it's really appropriate because I think that we really have a true understanding of haters and a true appreciation of haters. And Salieri is one of the all-time great haters of Western culture.
And there's also the great 30 Rock episode that is a remake of Amadeus, which is great.
So Asgard has been hiding away. They get into Asgard because Khonshu shows up and yells at Tessa Thompson.
Well, first we see the Wakanda event.
Oh, right. We see the Wakanda event, which is that
Spider-Man's like, just trust me, this is what Black Panther said. We have no voice.
But you know what's funny? They could have a voice.
Yeah.
They just chose, like, out of respect.
Yeah.
Not to do it. I quite liked this bit, and I quite liked... Because they come into Wakanda, and there is Thanos, and he has 5 of the 6 stones. They have the 6th, the Mind Gem, and he's a zombie. And the only reason why they're not instantly killed is because he's got zombie brain. I really like that. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down with that. Like,
that was good.
Later on, like, when the Hulk is the Infinity guy, I'm like, well, he's the Hulk. Like, he's not going to make the best choices on how to use these powers. He's going to hit people. Like, that's what he's going to... He's the Hulk. Like, it doesn't matter what power you have. If you set your thought process maybe remains the same, I guess. So basically what happens is that... T'Challa sacrifices his life to throw Thanos into this melting pit for adamantium. Not adamantium, vibranium, right? Vibranium melting pit.
To the core.
And he dies, Thanos dies, and the Infinity Stones are destroyed and create this unbelievable explosion that wipes out half the planet Earth.
Yep. Which is great comic book stuff.
Great comic book stuff. And then they get rescued by the sorcerers at Kamar-Taj. And
then they spend 5 years being like, why didn't you guys stop the zombie apocalypse? And they're like, well, We're sorcerers. What do you want us to do?
So Paul Rudd is in this bit, and I think the only thing he does is go, ugh. And then he is in the credits. I was like, they got fucking Paul Rudd to do that? What the fuck? And then he's more of a presence.
Yeah. I will say, having not remembered the What If Zombies episode well enough, and I'm guessing that's where this comes from, that he's running around just as a head being helped out by the cape.
Yeah.
Throughout the episode, I was like, who is that? I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. Is that like somebody just hanging out with Spider-Man? I don't understand. And then when he talked, I was like, oh, it's Paul Rudd. Okay. Oh, okay.
So part of the flashback is that Thor tries to stop Thanos, and he does the exact same stupid thing he does in Endgame. Stupid thing. He hits him in the... But I guess he doesn't know that Thanos is a zombie.
I guess, but still, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, his choice is always to hit him in the chest, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you go for center mass, right?
I guess that's the thing, right? You go for center mass. I think that if he knew he was a zombie, he might do a little bit better. I like that there's like a canon event concept around Thor fucking that up.
Yeah. In every reality, Thor fucks up. Yeah.
He fucks that up every single time. So he... Rocket Raccoon and Groot get fucking vaporized, and Thor gets beat, and his hammer is destroyed. That becomes important because when they show up at New Asgard, they're having a revel, and everybody's drinking and partying, and our heroes are like, fuck, this is awesome. Like, we have been on the zombie road for 5 years. Like, this is great. And but Thor's in the middle of it, and he's not talking to anybody, and he's sad. He's brooding. Boo. And
my tree friend got killed.
Red Guardian's really sad too because Yelena died, and he's gonna kill himself. He's gonna kill himself.
The ocean.
He's gonna drink ocean water. That's a terrible way to die.
Yeah, it's a very Russian way to die, though.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Russian.
Yeah, it really is. But he gets talked out of it using his own Kamala, who is the hero of this, by the way. She is the one that brings everybody together. She is the one that has the hope. She is the one that has those great powers. She talks him out of it by using his own words, which is that when we lose someone, we honor them with every breath we take. So she's like, you can't kill yourself. And he's like, shit, you're right. But he gets immediately pulled aside by the Asgardians. They're like, you look like a fucking party boy. You want to get drunk with us and eat a lot of fucking food? He's like, yeah, fucking well do. So they are talking to Tessa Thompson. Kamala tries to get Thor. Like, hey, Thor, help us. But nobody can talk to him. They're allowed to talk to him. And then that's when they discovered that actually this feast was sent over by the Scarlet Witch, the Queen of the Dead. And
the Queen of Sokovia.
The Queen of Sokovia here, but we know her as the Queen of the Dead from the original episode and from the other episodes here where they keep talking about the Queen of the Dead. The Scions are the superpowered zombies that serve her and seem to have more mental abilities, which I like a lot. Like, I like that zombies. These zombies can fight.
I mean, it is funny when we see... They show us that with Hawkeye, Clint being taken over, and he's a zombie, and he's doing the zombie walk where he's shuffling. He's like, and then Okoye gives him the ability, and his eyes go red, and he's like, "Oh, gotta stand up straight now." I'm not as zombied anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it quite a bit. So our heroes freak out, like, fuck, like, you guys, she's the bad guy. She's the villain of this piece, and. Scarlet Witch shows up and she's like regular. She's not a zombie anymore. And everybody's like, what the fuck? She's like, I cured myself. I could do shit like that. And she's like, I'm here to help, man. Like, I just want to make everything better. Like, that's the whole thing. And our heroes don't believe. And then it becomes very clear very quickly that the food that she gave the Asgardians for their revel is poisoned with zombie poison.
It's just zombie parts.
It's so good. It's so good. Great. And so all the Asgardians turn into zombies. Our heroes have to run away for their lives. Red Guardian is got a stomach ache. This is a great bit when they're running down the stairs and fucking Blade just jumps off the stairs and floats down. Yeah. And then also... Great. There's a really good bit in the first episode where they're in New York City and zombies just jump off the buildings at them, which I fucking love.
No, that's the San Francisco bit.
Where San Francisco, falling. They're just jumping off the buildings at people. And here they do that again, but these are Asgardians, so when the zombies hit the ground, they can get back up because they're super tough. Like, the people in San Francisco, we can assume just died. Like, or they were broken in ways that the zombies couldn't do shit, Anyway, more technical issues. I got to get new internet, man. But I don't have like the thing. I live in Los Angeles, and you'd think that like in Los Angeles, the big city, I would have a lot of options.
No, nobody has options.
It's
Nobody has
nuts,
options.
right? It's
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. My only other option is AT&T Air or something like that. It's called, where it's like, oh, you can get like 80 megs. It's like, what? Like, what am I gonna do with that? Can't do anything.
Yeah, no, it's awful, and so I'm just stuck with this, and this has been a problem for me for the past couple of weeks, not just on the show, but like when I'm watching shit on streaming or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, so our heroes get to this spaceship that's from the third Thor movie, Ragnarok, and they're getting on it, but they're as they're taking off. First of all, Red Guardian changes into a zombie, and Kamala's really upset about this. Again, it's like a really good emotional bit, though. Like, you know, I think it really, really works. And they take off, but Wanda shows up and pulls them back. And it looks like they're done for, but then Thor shows up, and he's like, I got this. And he starts fucking shit up, and they are able to escape.
And Kamala yells out to him, like, you have to come with us. We need an Avenger. And he says, you are an Avenger.
Yeah, this really is like glazing Kamala all over. That's this whole premise of this program is to glaze her. Like, it's just like nuts how much it's like. Did you know she's the best? Did you know she's the best? I did
do
know
not mind.
she's the best.
I do not mind.
I love her. So they finally are able to go into space, and they go into space, and they turn on the signal, and they're like, how long is this going to take? And then all of a sudden the fucking Nova Corps is right there. And like, well, that was pretty fast. And it turns out the Nova Corps have been there all along because Earth is quarantined, and any attempt to leave Earth will get you killed. And when the Nova Corps like turn around or be destroyed, they just sort of sit there, and I'm like, turn around.
Yep.
And they don't turn around.
Nope.
And then they end up getting chased by the Nova Corps. That's the next episode. And they get blown out of the sky. And Kamala's able to save them initially, but as they hit the atmosphere and the bubble burns and it cracks, and now they're just free falling. Fucking Blade is free falling standing up.
It's great.
Rules so hard. Yeah. Like, it's little things like that are just really cool. Like, just like really cool little things. And as they're free falling, looks like they're all going to die, but then they each start disappearing into little portals that were created by our friends in Kamar-Taj. And now we have all of the heroes together in Kamar-Taj, all the surviving heroes, I should say, in Kamar-Taj. And they are talking about...
we missed a bunch of people died on Asgard, New Asgard.
Who died?
Jimmy dies.
Yeah, Jimmy Woo dies. He gets torn to pieces, and his head flies up in the air.
Yep. His buddy,
Death Dealer
dies.
saves Jimmy's life and dies for his trouble. I thought it was very sweet. Yeah.
And Zemo dies.
Yeah, Zemo gets punched in the chest. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good death for him, too. At Kamar-Taj, the Kamar-Taj people are like, well, here's the deal, actually. It turns out that the energies from the Wakanda event are pretty fucking serious, and that's what actually Wanda wants. She wants we sent the Hulk in to absorb the energies. We needed somebody who could absorb the energies and survive, and so we sent the Hulk in, and all this time he's been just like in there, like just being the guardian of the energies, and she can't get near him, but she's finally built up the proper army that will enable her to get to the Hulk. And so, like, we have to make sure that this doesn't happen. We have to make sure that she is stopped. And so we end up with our big final battle where Wanda brings all of her zombie armies, including the zombie army of Asgardians who are in their boats. They're flying boats. It rules it's like cool. So cool. And
Abomination, he's there.
Abomination, he gets fucking nuked immediely. Like
it's awesome.
He was in it earlier, and then he shows up here and like, oh, Abomination versus Hulk, and the Hulk just fucking vaporizes him.
Yeah. First off, I love the design of what I'm calling Infinity Hulk.
Infinity Hulk, yeah.
I think he looks awesome, and I love that when he just swings and just blows up thousands of zombies at a time. It's like, this is awesome. This is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I was all for it.
Yeah, I mean, if they had sent somebody who had maybe more brains, they might have been able to use their powers quite differently in this situation. But because, again, it's the Hulk, even though he's not raging out, he is still the Hulk. So he's sort of just like, let me hit guys. That maybe would not be necessarily the way I would do it if I was God.
But they need somebody that could handle the amount of
energy,
power, right?
Which we know he can't, by the way, from Endgame.
Yeah. Well, he's not making a wish, though, right? He's not making a wish. He's just
holding it.
Essentially.
Yeah, he's just holding it. That's a good point. So we have like wave upon wave. It's actually really great. This is like the huge action climax, and it's just wave upon wave, and I really like it. Like at one point, he's getting cut up. And like there's no blood. He's just glowing white from within. Yeah, it's so awesome. Cool. It's awesome. It's like this is the stuff that I really wish we could see in the movies.
Well, it's great because this does answer the age-old question of what is the Hulk's weakness. Because he's got no problem taking care of the zombies. He's beating them up. No problem, no problem, no problem. Wanda brings out the raft. She opens up the bottom. All this water comes out. All of a sudden, the Hulk is weakened. So clearly, water is his weakness.
Well, I really love that because he's like, all the water comes out and there's all these zombies in there. And then he slams on the ground, and not only do all the zombies fly away, but all the water's gone. Like, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a great display of power. And she then has all of the boats. So her next thing is all the boats are opening fire on the Hulk at once, while, and like it's vaporizing all the zombies around him, but she doesn't give a shit. Like she basically wants him weakened enough so that she can get up to him and touch him. Yeah. She has to touch him. That's all she has to do. But the wizards and the heroes show up, and this is my favorite part, kind of, is that one of the wizards creates those portals so that the ships are shooting at the Hulk, but then she creates one portal to catch the bullets and then one portal above the ship to direct the bullets back into the ship. Yeah. It's so awesome. Cool. It's so good.
This is my major complaint with the show here, is we have these wizards. One of them creates portals and does magic with his sword, and I was like, that's awesome. So Swordmaster became a wizard over the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not Swordmaster.
No, who is it? Is it anybody?
I don't know. I was going to ask you if it's some guy from Marvel. I don't know.
I wasn't sure who that was supposed to be. Let's look this up. Let's look this up. Sword Guy, Marvel Zombies. Let's see if people are talking about this guy. I don't know who that's supposed to be.
I'm looking at IMDb. I'm sure he's got a character name.
He's the master of the London Sanctum.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, that's it, though. Like, he fucking rules, though.
Yeah, just London Master is all he's listed as on...
Yeah, he's in Multiverse of Madness, so, like, it's a character they're actually using.
Yeah.
But his shit is fucking...
It's so cool.
He does all this cool stuff with his swords. Like, he does all his magic with his swords. It rules so hard. They needed to have more of that. And so, eventually, shit goes really bad. Everybody's getting killed by the zombies. It's overwhelming. And Kamala is, like, dazed. And then she sees the Scarlet Witch finally get up to the Hulk and touch him, and she begins absorbing all the Infinity energy. And so Kamala runs over, like, no, I have to stop her, but she doesn't know how. I don't know. I feel like she could just cut her hand off, but I guess not, because Wanda's really strong, and that's the thing. Wanda says, "I'm way too powerful for you, kid."
Yeah, I mean, she's hitting her. It's just not doing anything to Wanda.
I would try to cut her hand off, though.
I mean, I imagine
the enemy cannot press a button if you disable his hand.
That's true, but if she's hitting her and it's not doing anything to her, and she's like, "You can't do anything to me," like,
so
I don't think like maybe if it was sharp, it would. I'm like, oh, I didn't plan on sharp.
Wanda's like, listen, kid, like, you needed to be here. I saw it in my visions. I know that you needed to be here. You're part of what has to happen right now. And I'm just trying to save the world. And you don't want all your friends to have died for nothing, because all your friends are dead right now because they all fucking just died in this battle. And,
Yeah, we see the one, what's his name? The Minotaur getting, like, impaled a bunch of times. That's crazy.
Yeah. I also like Death Dealer and John Woo show up, and they're, like, held together by magic. They're just floating pieces, and they fly at the heroes. It's so fucking great. Fun. Yeah. It's really, really good. But yeah, everybody basically gets knocked off. And so Kamala is like, I have no other choice. I don't want them to die for nothing. And so she touches hands with Scarlet Witch. And then she becomes cosmic too. And that's the three of them are like sharing this cosmic energy. And then it cuts to black. And then it's the next morning, and Kamala's waking up in her bed, and her mom's telling her that her friends are there, and she runs downstairs, and boy, isn't fucking Hawkeye and Ironheart. And so they go off for boba after she says, "Oh my God, I missed you guys. I love you so much," and they have no idea what she's talking about. And she's like, "I haven't had boba in 5 years. I haven't had halal in forever." And they're like, "We had boba yesterday, buddy." And she's looking around the city. She's like, "I'm so happy." She sees the red scarf guy from the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting choice to have him show up.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved it, though, because I was like, cool, like, let's bring some of her shit into this. Yeah, that's great. And then all of a sudden she begins getting flashes of zombie hell, and she realizes that actually what she's seeing is not real, and that Ironheart is there. And she is like, "Kamala, don't believe what she's showing you. You have to come back. You have to help us." And she keeps flashing in and out, and then it just ends on a shot of her face, like, horrified and not knowing what she should do. And that's the end of the fucking show. And what a great, and that's even if they never come back for a second one, it's a great fucking ending for like a zombie thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like the zombies won. Like the zombies won, and she's like living in her own weird hell because.
But that's the thing. She's not living in her own weird hell.
But she is, because she knows what's really on the other side.
Well, now she knows what's on the other side. But the idea that Wanda's answer isn't, "I'm going to de-zombify everyone." It's, I'm
going to
just
zombify everybody.
To zombify everyone, but make everyone believe that they're just living a normal life, is such a creepy thing to do, and I love it. I love that.
It's like zombies trying to buy food at like a food cart. Yeah. It's really great. It's really, really great. Yeah, and if there's never another one, that's fine, because I think this is a strong ending for this kind of a story.
Yes.
And it's really, really violent, but I never felt like the violence was like try-hard violence. It never felt like...
No.
It was all cool. It was all really great, and it wasn't like grim and gritty. It was always like fun. It was always like, you know what I mean? Like the violence, it was like, oh, amazing. Like it was never like, this hurts, I'm being killed. Like not a lot of that.
My brain hurts.
Yeah, not a lot of that. So I was shocked at how much I fucking like this.
It's really well done.
Really like this, and this really, like you said a couple of times, this really hits the comic book part of my brain.
Yes,
and that's, I guess, the Zeb Wells of it, right?
I think so. I think having somebody like Zeb Wells come in really helps out.
And
Watch it be like he wrote every episode of What If, and I just never bothered to look. Yeah.
But like, I feel like a lot of this stuff is stuff that you could do in the movies. Like some of it you can't, obviously, because some of this is just what if stuff. Like you can't blow up half the planet. Like that's just not going to happen in the movies.
Yeah.
But you can have like Blade falling while standing up. Like that kind of cool shit. Like should be the kind of shit that you're looking to do every single scene of your movie. Like how can I make this shit as cool as possible every single scene?
Yeah. Well, and we've discussed this before, that too often in the movies, they don't do the cool stuff with these guys.
Right.
Where it's like, no, they should be doing cool stuff all the time. Like, and they don't. They get caught in like, well, the physics of it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't give a shit about the physics. I want to see them doing cool things.
Did you notice they didn't kill Spider-Man?
We see him almost getting killed.
Yeah, but they didn't pull the trigger on that. And that's because they're thinking about doing another one.
Well, we also don't see Scott Lang get killed. We see him being pulled, but he doesn't get killed.
Right. So that's pretty interesting. I was like, is it that they don't have the guts to kill Spider-Man, or is it that they want to have Spider-Man around for Marvel's, Day of the Marvel Zombies or whatever they would call the next one?
I don't know.
This feels like another one of these Marvel things on Disney Plus that is like so much better than it should be, and then nobody's watching it. It does not feel like there's people really watching this. I don't get that sense.
I was reading that supposedly this did really well.
Did it?
And they're discussing doing a sequel to it.
Nice. I would love that.
So hopefully. So yeah, it premiered very high, and they were kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they're surprised, because it's like, oh, it's zombie stuff, and people love zombie stuff. So, I don't know what numbers they were expecting, but I guess it did better than they expected. And
well, I think What If was not well received.
No, well,
I think that's the thing.
Trash.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is a What If
spin-off.
People
really liked What If Zombies, though. They liked that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't make this. They didn't say like spinning off of the hit What If. They didn't do that.
It was
just
Marvel
like Marvel Zombies. Hey, there's zombies. It's Marvel. Isn't that cool? So yeah, I mean, I would like to see what they do with another one. Like I'd be
interested, especially because now they can bring in like Daredevil and the Fantastic Four and like
I feel like Daredevil's got to be dead in this world, though. There's no way he makes it past the zombie plague. Yeah, I mean,
or you have zombie, or you have Daredevil and Punisher have survived, and they're like living in Hell's Kitchen trying to keep people safe. Why not? You know, along with what's her name, Alias.
I mean, that could be a thing you do. I actually think the Fantastic Four would be great because you have them come to this universe. Like, and they're like, what the fuck universe did we just end up in? Like, we can't get home.
Which is a good play on how Marvel Zombies began.
Right.
Which was
Sentry showing up in the universe and he had zombie on him.
No.
In the comic, that's how it started.
In the comic, but the original thing started with Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh.
Where they contacted a Fantastic Four from another reality, and it turned out that whole reality was zombies, and they were trying to find new realities to zombify.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna rewatch that, and then I was like, you know what? I don't really want to. I don't really want to
Rewatch what?
What If Zombies?
Oh no! Yeah. No. I was not going to rewatch it. No.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I should have, but yeah. No, I mean, but I think that, I would like to see a sequel. Let's see what they do with it. I would like them to bring back Zeb Wells to bring some of that comic book stuff. I don't know that they've killed everybody at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who's left.
What characters are necessarily going to be like. I guess the new characters that might be showing up in the next couple of movies they can add. But
see, they got the Eternals.
We haven't. We've only seen Icarus show up, so we don't know what happened to the rest of the Eternals.
Sentry, maybe. I guess he could show up.
Sentry could show up. Yeah, I mean, they obviously were making this. I'm gonna guess while they were doing Thunderbolts because they had every one of those actors is here.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about how cool Ghost is as a zombie.
Oh yeah, that was very cool.
That's a really great bit when Ghost breaks into the Black Widow fortress and just fucking kills everybody.
Yeah,
like, really great. Really cool.
Oh, Taskmaster? We didn't see Taskmaster.
Didn't see Taskmaster. Yeah, she could show up. Yeah, there's a couple that could still show up, but I don't know who
Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier might have
died in the first one. I think.
I don't know.
So anyway, if you haven't watched it, we've just spoiled it for you, but we also I think recommend it.
Yeah, it's. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it. Because I was dreading watching this.
Yeah.
You know, and I still do not like the overall animation style.
Yeah, but you kind of just have to accept it at a certain
point. You got to accept
that's just what it is.
Yeah. But I do love the design of Infinite Hulk. I was like, that is cool looking. That is really very cool looking. Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Kamala is great in it. It's a bummer that Kate Bishop and Riri Williams are taken out so early because I enjoy watching the three of them together.
Although it seems that Riri's not dead, so that would be a setup for the sequel.
Yes. But Kate is.
And Kate is definitely dead.
Yeah, so they've killed off my two favorite characters in the MCU, both Hawkeyes. So that's rough for me.
Yeah, the other Hawkeye dies too. I like the Ant-Man Wasp stuff in this.
Yes.
They're really fun. They're really fun in this. They do a good job using them. All right, that's Marvel Zombies. We're going to be back again next week. We're going to be doing a full series rewatch of HBO's Watchmen. It's a rewatch for us because we saw it when it came out, but this podcast didn't exist when it came out. So it's our first time talking about it on the show. So join us. Also, we're going to be doing, for Halloween week, we're going to have an episode of Watchmen, our podcast, not the TV show Watchmen, but our podcast Watchmen. And we're going to be doing Creepshow, the George Romero, Stephen King movie that is not technically based on a comic book, but a really amazing comic book came out of it. And it is based on the vibe of EC Comics. So, yeah. So we decided that it counted. And then November is going to be my choice, my birthday month.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I've been really thinking about it.
Oh, I can't wait to find out how you torture me. Something I don't want to watch.
I mean, I'm like thinking, like, do I do like a movie that has no genre elements at all? Do you know what I mean? Like just get outside this box that we've been trapped inside of for a couple of years. I would actually love to watch Sallow with you. I'd love to have like a live stream where we're both watching it live. Like Derek live reacts to. Have you seen Sallow?
I don't know. No,
you would know. You say if you don't say I don't know.
No. I was gonna say I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it would be amazing to do a live stream with Derek reacts.
Vomit.
It's very fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
It's very fucked up. It earns this reputation, I think. Because it's not just that it's like gory or sexual or whatever. It's like mean. It's mean as hell, which is about fascism. So of course it is. But yeah, I got to figure out what we're going to do for my birthday. I'm going to think on it, and I'll let everybody know when I've made my choice. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you guys again next week. Until then, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well. But most of all, may you remain a true believer.